Welcome to week 5 in Promote the Ethical Use of Data-Driven Technologies. This week, we're discussing ethical principles. In the lessons this week, you'll learn about key ethical principles as well as strategies for applying those principles in a professional setting. Tanya DeGasperis will be your instructor this week, and we are joined by Renee Cummings today to help guide us through what you will be learning in this final week of Course 1. Welcome, Renee.
Thank you, Megan.
So, Renee, why are these principles so important to consider for people working in data-driven technologies?
So let me warn participants, this is going to be very exciting stuff because this is what really has me very exciting. So principles, this is your code of conduct. This is how you have to behave as an ethical technologist. This also is how you're going to be assessed. So when future generations look at your work, this is going to be your digital footprint. So you know when you're designing and when you're deploying technology, you are not supposed to create harm. You're supposed to detect and mitigate those risks. You've got to think about things like duty of care and due process, which means your ethical principled approach, you taking an approach that can be trusted, you taking an approach that is transparent and builds confidence, means that your whole approach to designing and deploying your technology is going to be one that you can be proud of. And this is where you really take pride in what you're going to design, how you're going to deploy that system, and really looking at the ethical frameworks that you're using. Now, one of the things I always say is that no matter how much ethics we invest into a product, it's not going to be perfect. But at least at the end of it all, you're going to be able to say, we did the right thing.
Yeah, and it is humans living behind that technology, and looking at it as, you know, your technology legacy is very impactful. So Renee, you do this every day, you're a consultant. Can you think of examples where a lack of principles have led to some business impact?
There are so many of them right now. This is why ethics is really so big in AI and emerging technologies. We could look at that particular technology designed by a big tech company that really looked at hiring. And because the data points used in designing that AI system were not gender neutral, we found that there were women who were excluded. So women's colleges, women's, were just not included in designing the technology. So of course, only men were hired, or more men were hired than women. That's not something that you want in this century. So what happened to that technology? It had to be disbanded. What happened to the big tech company? Another point taken away from their reputation. So there are major reputational risks. And also, it really is about understanding what's happening and what's happening in real time, and how important an ethical approach is if you really want to say we're designing ethical technology.
And having that guiding principle as part of their corporate culture probably helped them make that decision to pull that technology as well. So those principles become important at the corporate level, at the individual level, and at the group level. Well, thank you, Renee. I'm really looking forward to diving into the last week of Course 1. We look forward to understanding more about ethical principles.
And it's some really exciting stuff.
Thanks, Renee.